Welcome back everyone to today's video. We're going to be looking at the weather for the next couple of weeks, because we've got some cold weather looking like it is going to set in late October and maybe continue into early November. So we're not going to waste much time. We're going to get straight into this. We've got quite a bit to show you today, so let's go. Right, if you didn't already know, high pressure is the yellows, orange and reds. Low pressure is the greens, blues and purples when it gets that deep. At the minute, the current situation, got high pressure ridging out to the west, up towards Greenland, Iceland. We've got low pressure dropped over Scandinavia, and we are going to start bringing in a colder northerly wind. So it's going to feel, never mind. That's what we're going to be looking like soon. High pressure pulled out to the west, and we are currently bringing the winds still from a northerly direction, but under the high pressure, so not going to be feeling that cold yet. But as I was saying, as we go through, low pressure comes in, may get a little bit unsettled early next week, and then the high pressure goes out north. We get another storm coming through. Then we start to drag the wind in from a northerly direction. It's going to feel quite cold, I would say. Not cold enough for snow, but it's going to be very cold for the time of the year, and you will definitely feel it. As we go beyond that, we keep the cold in. We have another low pressure coming through. Keep it pretty cold, big blocking area, high pressure over Greenland, low pressure dropped in over Europe, and we are still very cold with that area of unsettled weather comes in as well, just there. And overall, and then we do go very stormy at the end. That's definitely a named storm. That is pretty unsettled. And the high pressure is still there though, so if this passes through, that strengthens there, we could get back into the colder conditions after. So, interesting GFS run today. Here are the 850 HPA temperature and precipitation anomalies. This was the midnight run from the GFS because I don't think the 6Z's fully updated yet. The red line is the 1991 to 2020 average. We are currently just below par for the average, and here is the section. Next week we are going to be going colder than average. Some options still staying quite mild. Most are going pretty cold now though, and that is the sign. And some even getting down to -5 upper airs, which is very cold for the time of the year. Overall, looking pretty unsettled conditions on the way. I'll see if the 6Z's working. It is working a bit, so let's see, what were we at there? We got down to about -1 upper air average. For the 6Z, I'd say we're about -2, maybe -3, so we are once again trending colder from today's latest run. Maybe a bit of a recovery towards the end of the month, even though the operational stays cold. But yeah, very interesting. Looking like it's going to be going colder towards the end of the month. Could be a sign for the winter ahead. ECMWF weekly anomalies. No. We're going to be starting off on week 1, which is the 20th to the 27th of October, and we have got high pressure out to Greenland once again. Low pressure dropped in over Europe and over the country. Maybe a bit more westerly, milder for the south, but for northern parts, and as this low pressure moves east, we are going to be bringing the wind in from a northerly direction. It will be cold. Week 2 is the 27th of October to 3rd of November. Once again, high pressure out here over Greenland, and most of the Canadian side, but we've still got that retrogression taking place. Low pressure once again over Europe and Scandinavia. Winds in from the north, cold again for week 2. Week 3 for the ECMWF is the 3rd to the 10th of November. Once again, high pressure is blocking out there. Maybe high pressure is trying to ridge up from the Azores over Spain and Portugal. We're going to try and go a little bit milder from the west, maybe, but it doesn't actually happen. We're probably still in the northerlies at that point as well. Week 4 is the 10th of November to the 17th of November. I think there's high pressure here, high pressure Eastern Europe, probably low pressure dropped in around here. So low pressure is probably about here. Probably got a bit of high pressure there. Maybe we're still in for the north. Maybe we're going a bit milder. Not much signal. 17th to 24th of November. High pressure is built over the country. Probably westerly. It is getting far out now, so don't take too much notice. And week 6, 24th of November to the 1st of December, we are in to the winter with these charts now. High pressure may be trying to ridge toward Greenland and Iceland again. Low pressure dropped in here. We'll be bringing in the wind from a northeasterly around the high pressure, and we'll be off to a frosty start to December with that. Very interesting conditions at the minute. Okay, now for the NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation. This resembles what you've just seen with the... So when the NAO is positive, it represents like a more Atlantic-driven setup with westerly winds and unsettled weather. When we get a negative NAO, it represents a more blocking in the Atlantic, and we get some colder conditions. And that is what we're going to be getting. It is going quite negative now. Not extremely, but it is like below -1 here, which is pretty negative. And it's going to be like that for the foreseeable future to the end of the month. Maybe a recovery starting to happen here, but you never know where that'll go. It might stay negative. Even though I believe people have forecasted a positive NAO for this winter, we will just have to see what happens. That will be the real game changer to decide what this winter will be like. So good. So if you're looking for cold, another good sign there. Right, we're going to be doing the coral reef watch once again, as this is a big thing at the minute, and will probably give us an increased chance of a colder winter if we get the tripole. If you don't know what a tripole is where we have warmer conditions, so obviously the red, warmer here, here, and here in the Atlantic, and we get a big cold pool sitting around here. At the minute, we are too warm through that area, though. But we are seeing some significant developments. We've got a La Nina, as you can see, in the Pacific. We've got the colder temperatures, which is a weak to, a weak La Nina at the minute. So, as I was saying about the tripole, we are cooling down quite a lot in this area, and if we continue to warm here, here, and up here, and keep cooling it around there, we will get a tripole, and that is a good sign for colder winters for the UK. So here's a 7-day trend to see where it's like in the bit of the shorter range, to see what the sort of trend is for the last 7 days. We are cooling all through this area at the moment, which is what I said. We're warming through here, a bit of warming here, and warming quite a lot up here. So to me, that looks like a tripole is developing. If it does continue to develop like that, we could end up with a tripole type situation. Very, very interesting. We're going to finish off with showing this for the first time this season. We have got the Strat, which is the 10 HPA temperatures. Alright, there we go. In the stratosphere. And if we do see a warming here, this is the polar vortex, right? This is the polar vortex. This is what all the cold temperatures in the stratosphere above the North Pole, as you can see. And in the winter, if we get warmings and we break this down, especially split it in half, that can give us like really big chances for cold because there won't be as much unsettled weather around. So if we do run through this, you can see the polar vortex is still quite weak for the time of year. We have got a little warming actually taking place over here, which is also going to displace the polar vortex over towards the UK a little bit as well. That doesn't mean anything for us. It doesn't affect us unless we get a really big warming. So yeah, a bit of a warming taking place there. And as we go into the extended range, that warming does sort of intensify a little bit and does misplace the polar vortex over Europe a bit. Maybe another little warming starting to take place here as well. And this is quite unusual for this time of the year. Usually you don't see any real big stratospheric warming until January, but signs of it quite early are interesting, and the polar vortex is still a little bit weaker than average so far this year. Right, we're done. Thanks everyone for tuning in. A bit of a quicker video today, but I just wanted to bring you a bit of an update of how we could be having a cold spell at the end of the month and into November. And it looks like we are going to, looking at all of the developments. It's all lining up very nicely. And the tripole is also looking very interesting as well. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for our future videos. We're going to have a lot coming up for the winter of 25-26. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.